Hi everyone, this is teacher Sandra. So this video I'll be going through Primary 6 2019 Maha Bodhi Paper 1. This is SA1. Okay, question 1. Round off 819 962 to the nearest thousand. So thousands place will be this, and we will check the hundreds place. So the hundreds place, let me just write it out. Thousands place is here. We check the hundreds place. So this is more than 5, therefore this plus 1. So if we add 1, we have to regroup. So it becomes 820,000. So 820,000. Question 2. Which one of the following fractions is smaller than half? Now if you want to compare fractions, generally we want to make them to either the same denominator or the same numerator. But in this case, it's actually quite difficult to change every single one to either the same numerator or denominator. So what I suggest is we can compare one by one. So now I'm going to compare 5, 8 and half. I'm going to change this to 8 times 4. So this becomes 4, 8. So 5, 8 is not smaller than 4, 8. Next, I'll compare 2/3 and half. Both I'm going to have to change. This I times 2. This I times 3 to change the denominator to 6. So therefore this becomes 4, 6 and 3, 6. So 4, 6 is not smaller than 3, 6. So that's out. Next, I'm going to compare 3/4 with half. 1 out of 2. Change to the same denominator. This becomes 2 out of 4. So 3 out of 4 is not smaller than 2 out of 4. Then we check 4, 9 and half. Gonna change to the same denominator, 18. So I times 2 here and I times 9 here. So it becomes 8 out of 18 and we have 9 out of 18. So yes, 8 out of 18 is smaller than 9/18. So the answer is 4. Question 3, express 308 cm in meters. Now, 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeters. So now if you want to express centimeters in meters, we will actually divide. You are dividing by 100. Okay, so when you take 308 centimeter, you will divide by 100 to convert to meters. So when you divide by 100, your decimal point for 308 is actually at the back. So when you divide by 100, you shift it to the left 2 times. Becomes 3.08 meters. Question 4. What is the area of triangle PRS? PRS. So please take note, this is the area that they want you to find. Okay, only triangle PRS. So that's half times base times height. Base would be here, height would be here, PS. So half times base times height. Base is 6, height is 8. Okay, that's ugly. Okay, 8 is there. So I'd like to do cross cancellation. So now this is 24. The answer is 1. Question 5, they're asking us which 2 roads are perpendicular to each other. Perpendicular means what? Right angles. They meet at right angles, right? So let's check one by one. Road A and road B, do they meet at right angles? A, B. Yeah, it does look like it, right? But let's check the second option. A and D. A is here, D is here. Well, they're not even touching yet, but they are, well, they will not meet at right angles. So 2 is out. B and C. This and this. Nope, it's not right angles. And C and E. C is here. E is here. They probably look more parallel than perpendicular, but no. So the answer is option 1. A and B are perpendicular. Question 6. For every 5 chocolate muffins Joe baked, he also baked 7 strawberry muffins. Now this sentence tells us our ratio. So we know that chocolate is to strawberry will be 5:7. So we know that he baked 210 chocolate muffins. We are trying to find the strawberry. So this tells us that 5 units is 210 chocolate muffins, 210 muffins. So 1 unit will be 210 divided by 5, which gives us 42. So how many strawberry muffins did he bake? Find 7 units, which is 42 times 7. $294. Number 4. Question 7. Express 2.5% as a decimal. 2.5%, it's also the same as 2.5%. Okay, so what's 2.5%? 2.5% is actually 2.5 out of 100. And what's 2.5 out of 100? It actually means 2.5 divided by 100. So if we go and shift our decimal point in this case to the left 2 times, 1, 2. The answer is 0.025. Option 1. Question 8. We're supposed to find the average price. So average, in order to find the average, we first need the total. So total is 36 plus 23 plus 19. So 36 plus 23, 59. 59 plus 19, 78. So total cost is 78. In order to find average now, there are 3 durians, so you take 78 to divide by 3. The average is $26. Number 9. Which of the following shows the correct base and corresponding height of triangle XYZ? This one. Okay, so let's check the first one. YZ is the base. If YZ is the base, they say the height would be CZ, which is here, which is not true. They won't even meet at right angles. So option 1 is wrong. If the base is BX, that is already wrong because the base can't be BX. That's this BZ here is not part of the base. So option 2 is wrong as well. Next, CY. If CY is the base, that's not true either. This can't be the base because XY needs to be the base. Okay, so CY is incorrect. So that's not true. So next, if YZ is the base, so let me just erase the others. So if YZ is the base, the height would be, we will extend the base such that AX is the height. So the answer in this case is option 4. Number 10. Let's draw the speed distance line. So Gavin, total journey 240 kilometers. He drove at an average speed. So for the first part, yeah, we know the speed is 60 kilometers per hour. Time, he drove for 1 hour. For the remaining journey, he drove at a speed of 90 kilometers per hour. The question wants us to find the total time taken for the whole journey. Now, if we need total time, we need the time for the first part, which we already know, and we need the time for the second part. Okay, in order to find the time for the second part, we need the distance. So how do we find distance? We first need to find the distance for this portion, the first part of the journey. Okay, so distance for the first part of the journey would be speed times time, which is 60 times 1, 60. So this part distance is 60. If that's the case, we can find the distance for the second part, which will be 240 minus 60. Okay, no space. Which is equals to 180. So the distance for the second part is 180. With the distance in the second part, for the second part, you are able to find the time for the second part. Okay, so the time for the second part, T2, time is distance divided by speed, right? So distance is 180 divided by speed 90. So the time taken is 2 hours for the second part. So total time will be the first part, which is 1 hour, plus the second part, which is 2 hours. Total time is 3 hours. Option 3. Question 11. So Alex started jogging at 7:05 a.m. After jogging 900 meters at 7:15 a.m. He jogged for 10 minutes. 15 minus 5 is 10 minutes. So what was his average speed in meters per minute? If they ask us to find average speed is equals to total distance divided by total time. In this case, total distance is 900, total time is 10 minutes. So his average speed is 90 meters per minute. Option 3. Question 12. So we have first piece, second piece. The first piece was 3 times as long as the second piece. They tell us that the second piece was 2 times as long as the third piece, meaning it's 2:1. And the second piece is repeated. We have to make second piece the same. So I'll multiply by 2. So first piece is 6 units, second piece is 2 units. I'm just going to strike off the old ratio. We don't want that anymore. Okay. So what information do we have? 1.44 meters for everything. So the first piece is 6 units, second piece is 2 units, third piece is 1 unit. In total, we have 9 units. So 9 units, 1.44 meters. We want to find 1 unit first. So that's 1.44 divided by 9. So it's 0.16 for 1 unit. The question asks us to find how long was the first piece. First piece is here, 6 units. So we go on to find 6 units, which is 0.16 times 6. Zero 0.16 times 6. 0.96. So the answer is option 4. Question 13. The ratio of the number of red to the blue marbles is 5:2. So let's write it out. Red is to blue is 5:2. He gives 3/4 of his red marbles away. Now we want to divide the red into 4 parts, but it's currently 5. So we need to multiply it by 4 so that we can 3/4 it. Okay, so we times 4, it becomes 20. This times 4, this is 8. So now we need to know what is 3/4 of 20 units. 15 units. So he gave 15 units away. Okay, so the new ratio would be 5:8. But please take note, they want you to find new ratio of the red to the total number of marbles. So please read that. If red is 5, blue is 8, your total in the end would be 5 plus 8, which is 13. Okay, so the ratio should be 5 is to 13. Option 2. Okay, question 14. She works from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. So from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., she gets paid $8 an hour. So from 10 to 8, we count the number of hours. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 10 hours. Okay, so $8 per hour times 10 hours. She gets $80. So from 8:30, now 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. So that's 1.5 hours, right? So it says $12 per hour or part thereof. So which means that half an hour that she worked will be considered 1 hour as well. So this 1.5 hour here, right, is actually considered 2 hours due to the part thereof word. Okay, so 2 hours, 12 times 2. $24. So what is the total amount that she got paid? $80 plus $24, $104. Option 3. Question 15. So you have 3 identical squares. Okay. So they tell us the area of the shaded part is 54. So what is the length of one side of the square? If you look at this triangle here, this green shaded triangle is actually half of the purple rectangle. It's half shaded. Okay. Now we look at this gray color triangle now. This is actually half of the green square. So essentially this means that the whole figure is half shaded. So if it's half shaded, to find the area of the whole figure, is 54 times 2, which is 108. And this is made up of 3 squares. Okay, so now we need to find the area of one square, which is 108 divided by 3. 108 divided by 3. Which is 36. So what's the length of one side of the square? Now we take 36 and we square root. So 36, square root of 36 is 6. Option 1. Question 16. How many common multiples of 2 and 7 are smaller than 30? So we simply need to list out the multiples of 2 and 7. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 7, 14, 21, 28. Okay, so if we find out the common factors will be 14 and 28. So how many common factors are 2? Question 17. Express 5 out of 8 as a decimal. So when we want to express a fraction as a decimal, we need to change our denominator to 10, 100, or 1,000 if we can. In this case, 8 can become 1,000. How do we change that? 6 and 5 are 8. 8 times 125 gives us 1,000. Okay, so then numerator also times 125. So this becomes 6. I need to take 125 times 5. So this becomes 6.625, and they ask us to correct to 2 decimal places. So this is the second decimal place, we check the third. So 5 means this I have to plus 1. So it becomes 6.63. Question 18. What's the value of y? Let's give them one more decimal place, 7.80, 7.90, 8.00. So if this is 7.80, this is 7.90. Let's focus on the back. If this is 80, this is 90. This should be 7.82. This is 7.84. This is 7.86. And y would be 7.88. That's the answer. Okay, so let me draw the timeline for question 19. So Grace left her house to go to the library. The actual time was 14:35. When she reached the library, she looked at her watch. The time shown was 15:10. However, her watch was 10 minutes fast. If the watch was 10 minutes fast, means the actual time is behind. So this is the actual time when she reached the library, 1500. So how long did she take to reach the library? From 14:35 to 1500, that is 25 minutes. So 5 seconds. In 5 seconds, the machine produces 8 ribbons. How many ribbons will the same machine produce in 1 minute? 1 minute has got 60 seconds. So from 5, how do we get 60? You times 12. Okay, so what you do to the left side, you do to the right side as well. So this side you times 12 as well. So 8 times 12, you get 96 ribbons. Question 21. Mr. Lee wants to put a fence around the garden. Fence around the garden means is this half curve and this straight line. We're supposed to find the perimeter in this case, okay? So leave our answer in pi. So let's find the half curve first. Half times pi times diameter, which is 10. It's 5 pi. So then we need to add the straight line. So that's 5 pi plus 10. Question 22. We're supposed to find angle BAE. This one. So we have parallelogram, means we have parallel lines. So this line parallel with this line. Okay, so if you have parallel lines, you have alternate angles like that, which tells us that this will be 68 degrees as well. Okay, so this is 68 degrees. We have interior angles here. Interior angles make up 180 degrees. So in order to find angle BAE, we will take 180 minus 68. (112 degrees). Question 23. Dan and Eileen received an average of 138. So if they receive an average of 138, $138. The total that they received will be 138 times 2, which is 276. And then received twice as much as Eileen, which means in total they received 3 units. So 3 units, 276. So we want to find Eileen, who is 1 unit. So we take 276 divided by 3. So 1 unit is $92. That's Eileen. Question 24. The mass of a bag of rice and a bag of noodles. So express the total mass of 1 bag of rice and 1 bag of noodles. So we just simply need to add them up. So 4m plus m minus 3. So this gives you a total of 5m minus 3 bracket. Question 25. The perimeter of the rectangle ABCE is 42. So this make up 42 centimeters. Okay, so from here we actually need to find out the radius. Okay, so this is the same as this. So total we have 6 units there, 6 equal parts, 42. So one of it will be 42 divided by 6, which is 7. So which means the radius is 7 centimeters. So we're supposed to find the quadrant of FDC. The quadrant FDC, which is just here. So that would be quarter times pi times radius times radius. Divided by 7, divided by 7, divided by 2, divided by 2. So now we will have 77 out of 2. So if you do your division, 9, 8, 8, 2, 16, you get 38 and a half. Question 26. Mrs. Wong bought a dress at $90 after she was given a 25% discount. So which means $90 is actually 75% of the price, of the usual price. Okay, so let's find out what's the usual price. So 75% is $90. So 1%. Okay, you can just take 90 out of 75. And if you want to find the usual price, 100. So it's 90 out of 75 times 100. So we can divide by 5. And if we divide by 5, this is 15. So divide by 3, this is 6. Divide by 3, this is 5. So I divide by 5, this is 120. So 120 is the original price. So we also know that Mrs. Ramesh bought the same dress at $78 during another sale. So we're trying to find the percentage discount. Now first let's find out the discount in dollars. If the original price is $120 and she paid $78, so the discount in dollars would be $42. So percentage discount will basically be the discount out of the original price times 100. Okay, so discount is 42, original price is 120 times 100, divide by 6, divide by 2, 7 times 5, 35. 35% is the percentage discount. Question 27. Let's draw the time distance line. So we have town A to town B. Jim went this way. So we know the total time is 5 hours. This split into two parts. He traveled at a speed of 70 kilometers per hour for the first 210 kilometers. The second part, he then increased his speed by 10 kilometers per hour. So the old speed is 70, the new speed will be plus 10, which is 80 kilometers per hour. So the question asks us to find the distance between A and B. We already know the distance for the first part. So what we need to know is the distance for the second part. In order to find the distance for the second part, we are missing the time, T2. So in order to find T2, we first need T1. Okay, the time for the first part would be distance divided by speed, which is 3 hours. Now, if this part is 3 hours, the first part is 3 hours, the total time is 5, right? Means the second part of the journey will be 5 minus 3, which is 2 hours. With that, we will be able to find the distance for the second part, D2, speed times time, speed times time, 160 kilometers. So this, now we are able to find the total distance. The first part of the distance, first part of the journey 210 plus the second part of the journey 160. That gives us 370 kilometers. Question 28. 3/5 of Gabriel's savings is equals to 1/3 of Brian's savings. This kind of question, equal fractions. What do we do when we see equal fractions? When they say a fraction of somebody is the same as a fraction of somebody else, we will make the numerator the same. So I'll make numerator the same, means I multiply by 3 here. So 3 out of 5, this is 3 out of 9. Now my numerator is the same already. I ignore the numerator. My denominator tells me the units. So Gabriel is to Brian was 5 is to 9. The question tells us Brian saved $60 more than Gabriel. That is the difference between the two of them. So 9U minus 5U is 4 units. So we know that 4 units is the difference, which is $60. So 1 unit would be 60 divided by 4, $15. So what is the total savings of both boys? Total savings 9 plus 5, we have 14 units. So then you just need to find out what's 14 units, which is $15 times 14. $210. Question 29. The box will be fully packed with 1 centimeter cubes, and we want to find out how many cubes touch the inside of the box. So this one we need a bit of visualizing. So the bottom layer will definitely touch the box. So that's like 5 times 3. Because along the length you can have 5 cubes, along the breadth you can have 3 cubes. So 5 times 3, this is the bottom layer. Done. Now, can you look at the top part here? Huh? The first, the front piece. We can actually place another row on top, right? So that's another 5 cubes. That's another 5 times 1. And we have it at the back as well. You can put that row at the back piece, touching the back piece. So that gives you 2 of those. So that's 10. Then next you're left with this part here. You can put one more here, and you can put one more here. So total you have 2 more there. So in all it's 15 plus 10 plus 2, which is 27 cubes. Question 30. There are 15 boys in the class, and the boys scored an average of 72 marks. So let's find out the total score for the boys. Total for the boys would be 15 times 72. $1080 is the total for the boys. And the girls scored an average of 79. But we don't know how many girls there are. So let me try to draw a diagram for this. So over here we know that this is 72. Okay, and we have 15 boys. The total here is 1080. Okay, so we know that the girls scored an average of 79. And the average scored by the children is 76. So we want to find how many children are there in 6 kindness, means we need to know how many girls there are. This part here needs to come here to average out. So we first need to find out what is this. The difference over here is 4 marks. So 76 minus 4, 76 minus 72. We get 4. Okay, so the boys score an average of 72, which is 4 marks short of the average. Okay, so there are 15 of them. 15 times 4 will be 60. So which means the girls need to donate 60 marks to the boys. Alright, so this part here is 60 marks. And this came from the girls who had an excess. Because the average of the class is 76, each girl, and the average of the girls, they scored 79. So the girls had an excess of 3 marks. So 79 minus 76 is 3. So since they donated 60 marks to the boys, and each of them had an excess of 3 marks, this tells us that there are 20 girls in the class. So how many children are there? 20 plus 15, which is 35 children. So this is the end of paper 1. So stay tuned for the next video for the paper 2, and please like this video and subscribe to Math Nuggets. Happy practicing!